Hello, my loves. It's Sonia G. This is the MoonBabes Monday Night Live. And let me pin a comment. It's a late night live. We have much to talk about. Yes, my hair it's a late night. My hair's crazy. We're using a Christmas cup already. Things are happening. There's lots of energy going on. But we're going to have this chat because we have good things to talk about. Hi, loves. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Bobby. Hi, Kira. Hi, guys. Hi, all of you that are joining. Oh my gosh, we have lots of energy, things that are happening, as my shirt says, if you can read it, inhale and exhale. So, hi, loves. So, we're chatting about what's happening in the energy. We're in between these portals, and there's a lot of things happening with our skies, with our entire solar system. Everything is kind of a play during these last few months of the year. It's like the universe wants to make sure that we're really doing the things that we need to do. So here is I was thinking while I was coming on live and setting up my light, I was like, what do I really want everyone to understand? Like if you understood like one thing. And this is really the thing. Whatever is coming up for you right now, what you're coming up against, I feel like everyone is coming up against something. Like this is the moment where the universe, aka Mars, making all sorts of movements in our skies, is really like pushing us up against something that is the thing. It's actually the thing that's holding us back to like from moving forward in general. So if you look to see, this was also coming up in 2018 when Mars was going retrograde. This has to do with us taking action, with us being able to move forward, to move past the old, right? Like there's something like an action, a behavior, a thing, a situation, a person, like something that we are like coming up against that needs to just be transcended. That's the word. So this is kind of our lesson, quote unquote, per se right now. And as we let this go, we're moving deeper into things. The sun is about to move into Scorpio. And hey, Carrie's joining us. The beautiful Happy Witch, also MoonBabes admin babe. She's the one that always helps me to make sure that all the links work and all the things happen in the MoonBabes world, even when all the planets are everywhere. So we're saying we're coming up on things that need to be understood, but sometimes right now, a lot of people are feeling like your wheels are spinning, but you're not really quite going anywhere, right? It's kind of like this thing. If this is how you're feeling, you have to stop like the things that you're doing, and then you have to really just reground. And the reason why you need to reground is because from 1010, seventh dimensional frequencies started flooding the planet. Those of us that are like grid workers and grid keepers and doing the light work, right? We're grounding these frequencies in. And I can't remember if I told you guys this last time, but like I know that I've said it to some of you in private sessions because I've been sharing this because I'm not the only one coming up on this, but it was really hard to ground through the earth for a while. And the reason why is because not enough seventh dimensional frequencies were actually landed on the planetary grid. These are the frequencies of sound, okay? These are the frequencies that are coming and connecting us to Andromeda. So this is like all coming in. And now they are. Now there's enough. And so now when you ground in, make sure that you are grounding in and connecting to the light grid on top of the earth, which is fifth dimensional to seventh dimensional. That's where you want to go. And so now that enough of this high frequency, high vibrational energy has landed, then it feels good to ground in again. But this is the work that we have to do. We always have to raise the vibration of the earth, of ourselves, and all together we rise up, right? So I hope that this is making sense. I know I'm going kind of fast because there's a million things going on, but this is what's happening right now. So, the way that, these patterns, these things, these situations that we're coming up on that I was talking about before, those are frequency, those are vibration, right? Anything that we have that's like a belief, that's like, in childhood, my parents conditioned me that, right? In my household, for example, we grew up, and if the light of the sun was up, then you had to be up and be productive or whatever. Like the conditioning that you know, that's not entirely in my house. That is an inaccurate statement. But like in general, right? Like whatever money belief system, friends belief systems, behavioral belief systems, all those things, those are held vibrationally together. If you could see it, there's a spot. There's like your own personal Wi-Fi hookup cloud pod up here, which is also in Kundalini. It's also called the light. In Kundalini, this is also called your Akasha point. Okay, it's right here. It's hanging out right above our crown chakra, right in between, before our soul star chakra. And there's a spot. There's a depository. Is that the word? Where like your access can be linked, right? It's like right where we access like our soul star frequency, if you've done the Sacred Chakras Journey course and you know what I'm talking about. So it's kind of like right underneath the soul star chakra, which is above here. I can't really quite reach that. It's like there's a holding tank. And that's also where your arc line passes through. This is where your information gets stored. This is where your vibration is held. And the vibration that you hold here holds in place your manifested reality, okay? Your created world. It's kind of like if you had a projector up here, especially as we're merging chakras, right? And everything is kind of working together. Wow, this light is doing some weird stuff tonight. So as we are merging our chakra pillar, right? And we're working with one chakra pillar, all of your belief systems are held together in one spot. Everybody is unifying, right? And it's like all this like projector that's coming from up here. This is a projection of frequency. Whatever frequency you're projecting, your world is mirroring back to you. So it's kind of how that works. So how do we shift it? How do we, vibrate up? We shift our energy. We shift our frequency. We raise our vibration. We vibrate higher, and this stuff has to be cleared up. It just has to. That's the law of vibration, right? Like it just has to go that way. Hi guys. I have all sorts of things happening in my house. I have all sorts of I see you guys joining too. Hi Annie. Hi Joy. Hi you guys. Hi Sid. I see you joining. So, what questions do you guys have? Of course, I want to talk to you about the crash course too. And this is part of the things that we work with in the crash course, because we're basically going through an acceleration period. The portals started on 10/10. We're going to go through another alignment portal on 11/11, which I'm super excited for. That's going to be our next date, our next live date for the crash course, and it's gonna be amazing. I've had a glimpse of I say it like that because I never want to say too much because I don't know how much is going to change, but we're gonna be pulling down some very, very high frequencies on 11/11. We're really gonna be doing some transformational work. So let's see. Here's a question. Why is my reality so different of you if you and I share the same values? We would not be sharing the same exact values, and it may be the way that you hold those values, right? The other thing too is, for example, one of my values may be that of integrity, right? So integrity is a really big value, and you have the same value as me. Well, if integrity for me, let's say, is a thing of shame and guilt, and that you have to be of integrity, otherwise there are consequences, and it's like something that's really heavy, right? That's one way to hold the value of integrity. Maybe for you, for somebody else, integrity is like beautiful and blissful and magical and easy and it flows, right? And so it's the same value, but it manifests different because of how you hold it. So that's kind of how it works. That's like a good example of that too, is like, you know how sometimes people can say the same sentence to you, but it's the way they say it. So sometimes, when people say, you call customer service or you go into a store and it's like, hi, how can I help you? Right? It can be like, hi, how can I help you? Or it can be like, hi, how can I help you? And it's very different. You're saying the same thing, but it's the way that you're presenting it. It's the energy of it. It's the way that you're holding it. And that's how our reality manifests. It's the vibration that we hold and what we put out in the universe. So with that being said, so we're going through these shifts that are pretty much like jumping us, leaping us into really truly the full-blown integration of our light body. Like our DNA is waking up, whether we like it or not. The memories of our ancestors are being born inside of us. We're remembering things. We're having dreams. A lot of you have. You're welcome. I hope that helped. A lot of you have had dreams and you're messaging me about messages being like given to you in dreams. So dreams are your subconscious connections to seventh dimensional reality. Okay, I'm gonna say that again. Dreams are your subconscious connection to seventh dimensional frequencies and reality. So this is where your subconscious is communicating with other parts of you and other planes of existences and giving you messages through your dreams. So when you do, for example, dream interpretation, like with Gestalt dream work, which is something that I do, you actually see that dreams are messages. Like it's your interpretation of your dream is actually very personal to you because it's your subconscious sending you a message through planes of existences. So if you're having very, very different dreams and you're trying to figure out what they mean. Oh, here is one of you guys that had a question. I sent you a private message about a friend's dream. She's trying to get some insights. Okay, so there's been a lot of you that have had like lots of different dreams lately. So this is what you do, okay? This is for dreams. So take down a piece of paper, go through your dream and identify the main parts of your dream. Usually there's like main characters, there's messages said, and put them in a column. So like, I don't know, there's like the sea. The sea is like a thing. There's like an uncle kind of figure or a grandpa and put a column for it. Or, there's boat, this, okay? And there's a column. Then go through, if you literally go to a Gestalt therapist, this is what they'll do for you, okay? And then get yourself in a place, whoever had the dream, okay? Get yourself in a place where you are in tune. Like you remember, you're tapping into the energy of the dream, okay? And get into character of each of the things. There will only be so many main things. Generally, there's like 5, maybe like 6, okay? And then it really boils down to like 3 main things that are happening in your dreams. So if you can identify those 3 things, like things that have the most energy, then you go and see the dream from the perspective of that thing, that person, that, like the boat or the grandpa or the sea. Right? How does the ocean, what does it mean to be the ocean in your dream? Everything in your dream has a message. If you can identify that message that is trying to come across to you from your subconscious, then you can translate it into something useful for your reality. So, what does it mean? What is it here for? What's the message that it's trying to bring to you? And a lot of times, you can start to decode things like, why are things being said? Why are things, and some people are receiving specific numbers or messages in dreams too. Those are also always generally very personal. The only other thing that you can do if you're getting numbers, I know there's like a couple of you that have gotten numbers. The website that I recommend always is called Joanne'sSacredScribes.com. She has like a huge, even if you Google, like I think angel numbers, library answer or something like that, but it's Joanne's Sacred Scribes. And she just has an extensive information on every possible combination of numbers so that you can really translate what things mean. Because the universe speaks to us in numbers, right? We all get number patterns, and it doesn't necessarily mean 1111 or 4444. It means, sometimes you get 1357 all the time, or, 1965 or whatever. Like you see a repeated number all the time and it means a specific thing. And the easiest thing to do is to learn what each number means. Those of you, again, in the Sacred Chakras journey, you have a key to this. So I know what each individual number means, right? So when you put them together, it's almost like code. And so you understand what the message says. It's like, oh, this is the message for me. Okay, Kira, question. I totally feel it. Since the last 10-10 astral meditation, I feel so different inside. Kind of like a different person is living my life, but in a good, higher version kind of way. Amazing. Yeah, so you've totally shifted perspective. Like you're seeing things, it's like, because when you integrate, excuse me, the seventh dimensional frequencies, you become not just the observer of your thoughts, but the observer of the observer. And so it feels like you're like this other person, like it feels like you're twice removed, but it's you, but you're observing it. And so you're kind of looking at it from this different perspective, saying, oh, this is what I'm experiencing. This is what it feels like, but it feels slightly different because you're living it from a higher frequency, right? So when we did the 10-10 meditation, this is part of the crash course, okay? So those of you that are registering for the crash course right now, which by the way, you have until tomorrow night at midnight to get this awesome deal on the crash course, okay? The 10-10 Gateway Astral Projection, what we did is we took the energy gateway that opened up, like the current of energy gateway that opened up with 10-10 and with the alignment of the planetary field. And we literally, it's like we travel up a current of energy that gets created in space. We do this by projecting our consciousness, okay? And we went up to the great central sun. We met up with our ancestors and back through the lineage of our tribes, all the way back. It was like hundreds of thousands of people through all of our bloodlines back to the tribes, okay? Back, like we like cleared dating all the way back to like the days of Abraham, the days of Israel. Like it was a lot, like it's more than well, for me, more than I could even see, more than I could understand where it ended in terms of like the lines of people. It was amazing. And so, in fact, I remember saying, if anybody knows how, like has a grasp on how to draw this, I'd love to see it like drawn out, because it was such a visual. But anyways, what we did is we cleared through the vibrational let's call it vibrational dis-ease. So the whatever patterns, whatever was held in our blood that was bubbling up from our ancestors, the chains, the patterns, the behaviors that we came on planet Earth right now at this time to break free from, for our entire generations of ancestors, which very often include our past lives, okay? So a lot of times, if this is like you're having these crazy flashbacks, right? You're not going crazy. We have incarnated, our souls sometimes choose to incarnate along the what is it called? Genealogy tree line. Okay, so the history of your bloodline all the way back. And the reason why certain souls do that is because they need an understanding of different historical things, and they really want to carry the patterns in order to break them. Like they need an understanding. Certain souls, for example, that were really evolved from like different planetary systems, and they needed to understand how things worked on Earth before incarnating at this particular time, because we all came here for this time, right? So if you're alive right now on planet Earth, you're a big deal. You are absolutely meant to be here and to do something amazing. So all of us are basically coming up on this moment where it's like these portals are opening, all of this knowledge inside of us is awakening, and the Akashic records are merging in with us, ready or not. Here it goes for everybody. So it's like all this knowledge, and you're like, what is happening? Why am I having, like, sometimes it feels like you're doing so much and you didn't even get out of bed, or maybe you got out of bed to just like go and eat and go to the bathroom, and then you're like, I am exhausted, and you don't understand why, because you can't like function as normal. That's because inside of your body, your cells are so busy because they're doing this work, okay? Like you're actually transmuting density to light frequency. This is what's happening inside. And we talk about this stuff in detail and why it's happening now and what the cycles are in the crash course. So this is like very much explained. But just so you know, if you feel like, oh my gosh, it's like, why am I so tired and I didn't even do anything? It's because there's things that are happening. So why do we do these astral projections? Because as I was been doing this work by myself for a while, I realized that as you can get yourself to tap into a higher frequency and actually integrate it, then you don't have to spin, like you don't have to keep downloading this program in like slow motion. Like there's always something downloading in the background that keeps you forever, and you feel like you're swimming and you're foggy and you're underwater, and it just takes you work to just breathe. Right? You don't feel like that anymore because you go and you do the work and it's done in like an hour, and then you're like, ah! Maybe you need like 24 hours to integrate depending on how used your physical body is to doing that, but then you're good, right? And you feel like a new person. You're like, la! I feel like I have a new lease on life. That's why you guys sometimes see me and I'm like so high off of these new frequencies that come in, because they really feel so like bubbly and airy and light, and there's just so much like amazing, like the once you get used to doing this, it's like euphoric, the feeling that comes in, and there's no drugs involved. This is all self-producing, like I don't want to say chemicals, but just self-production of like your divine cells. That's what I want to call it. As your DNA activates and you have a higher range of functional cells, it's like you feel more things. Like for example, like the DMT. Somebody was asking me today about like the DMT, which is oh my gosh, the word, it's in your pineal gland. Okay, it gets produced. It's a chemical. It's like a hormone chemical that gets produced in your pineal gland that allows you to have like astral projection trips. It allows you to have these like amazing insights into the astral planes, where guess what, with some very precise breath work and with guidance from somebody like myself, then you can do that without taking a synthetic form of like the DMT or any kind of other DMT. You don't have to intake it. You can produce it. You can train your pineal gland to produce it all the time. So instead of taking it from the outside in, you can create it inside out, and then it's really easy to access all these different realms. So it's pretty cool. So Bobby says, that is how I feel when I travel to my soul star yesterday in high frequencies. Yay, Bobby. Bobby is a student of the Sacred Chakras Journey, where we go and where I teach you guys how to do this astral traveling thing. I was thinking today it would be really cool to have a certification program. It's like I want to certify some of you guys to actually like teach other people how to do this stuff. That will be something for 2020. I'm gonna figure out if there's any kind of regulatory system by which I can certify you guys. It'll be fun. Okay. So I don't know if I finish my thought of what I was talking about with the 1010 gate. So let me finish this and then I'll go back. I see that you guys have the questions. So it's the 1010 gateway that opened up this frequency where we cleared our bloodlines, okay? This is where we like cleared through the blood patterns energetically. When you clear through things energetically, if there's any emotional residue, then it comes up, and then you just like, you just lift it and you shift timeline and you jump timeline. You get higher and you get higher and you get higher. It means you live your like life from a higher frequency. And then on 11/11, what's going to happen, what I have been told by my guides and angels, because they give me glimpses, right, of the things that I'm to teach. And so what's going to happen is we're going to ground in, this is really cool. We're going to ground in your soul frequency onto your own plane. So everybody is going to get to experience that soul star frequency. So like your home frequency, the thing, it's like that feeling that your heart yearns for, right? Like that void that you feel inside, especially if you're a star seed, that feels like something that can never truly be filled. The only way that it's ever filled is when you feel that frequency of your home star. And then you feel like you start to emit your own frequency. And that's like the frequency of your soul. When you find it, then it's like you're at peace everywhere. You feel good everywhere. No matter what happens in the world around you, you are good because you're like connected to your home star, right? And you feel that feeling like everything's going to be okay. It's like a baby and a mom, right? Everything's going to be okay. So on 11/11, we're going to do that. And we're also going to do some like world healing. It's going to be amazing. And then the following, there's like 3 more gateways after that. This is not part of the course, but just to tell you, like, this is preparation. And then on 12/12, there's going to be completion of things. On Christmas Day, there's a solar eclipse, major download, total solar eclipse. And then on January 12th, there's a huge Saturn-Pluto conjunction that's going to like blow our belief systems up. So whatever we have not worked through by 1/12, it's going to be like in our faces, like not a good thing, right? And it's not good. That's when you have like a mental breakdown. It's not like, oh, hey, I have to deal with this now. It's like, holy shit, everything that I thought I knew, everything that I was raised on, everything I'm used to doing, just crumble. And it really, when this stuff happens, which it has happened a couple of times before, but we haven't seen anything to the extent of what's happening in January. It feels like just the foundation of your home just like crumbles and you like fall and you're like, where am I? Right? And you have to like reset everything. So that's why we want to do the work now. And we want to feel good. I mean, we don't just want to do the work to avoid things. We want to do it to feel good. Okay, let me go back to questions. So hopefully that makes sense. And let me know if you have questions about the crash course. Type them up and I'll go answer these questions in the meantime. Okay. Speaking of dreams, the other night, you were teaching me in my dreams, and yes, it feels exactly like that. That's awesome. I have been busy on the astral plane, you guys. Sometimes I am like, I know that I have to just like nap. It's like I'm actually starting to be conscious of where I am going when I have to like take a nap and go places. It's pretty amazing, like to be able to track yourself. So that's really cool. I love that I'm meeting up with some of you guys in the astral planes. Yay. Okay, so right timing, hearing you. Oh, good. Yes, and you're meant to be here. That is how it goes, the synchronicities. Can someone intentionally lucid dream? Absolutely. Dreaming lucidly means that you have the ability to wake up in your subconscious state. It's kind of like that. What's that movie called? Inception. Where you can like go into a state and then like wake up. One of my girlfriends actually is an intentional lucid dreamer, and so she'll go back and it really works in her mind like a video game. The way that I can access the astral realms and astral project and like see the cosmos and the planets and everything else. She has that gift, for example, with her dreams, where she actually has like what does she call it? She has like, it's almost like a video games where she knows she has like portals and like she can go back to like a safe place where she knows it's like real and like there's beings, like there's like safe keys and things like that. So she literally sets it up. It's like very vivid, very intentional. She knows how to get out, how to go in, and she gets a lot of her information that way. So it can be done. Okay, question, Ashley. I've been feeling so exhausted lately, but whenever I do one of your meditation and raise my vibration, I feel so much better. Good. So grateful for your course and for your being. Oh, Ashley, that makes me so happy. And that's the thing, you guys, too. So Ashley is in my Sacred Chakras Journey course, which, by the way, I haven't said it yet, but there's more coming to that course, too. I think I already published it on the website, but I just haven't said it on here because there's so much going on. But so we're going to do an update on it. And anytime you guys purchase any of my courses, you get them for life. So anytime I add anything to it, You get all the bonuses. And then all of the meditations that are in that course, you get to access them forever. And they're always good, because the cool thing about the work that we do is that it's in the quantum field, which means it's always alive. So you can go back and do any of the meditations and like tap right into it, raise your frequency, and feel like, I'm ready to go, baby. It's awesome. So, yay. Oh yeah, you guys are excited about the certification for the astral travel. That is a thought that has come to me in the last little bit. I was like, what would it take to actually make this a thing? So we will see. Okay. Do you believe in the hollow earth? I do believe that there are crystals underneath the planet, and I do believe that there are beings that live in between, not underneath, at the core, right, of our earth. There are crystals. And some of us are actually, whether you know it or not yet, some of us are sent here to maintain the frequency and the connection. We're like little baby antennas, not baby maybe, but antennas that keep the frequency alive to the crystals that are underneath inside of the earth. And so we kind of keep that like connection, and we transmute information through. So there are crystals, so there's a layer, and then there's us. So there's a whole other ecosystem inside. And there's a lot of, if you go digging on that, you'll find a lot of evidence of like caves that have been closed and all sorts of that stuff. So yes, I do. Okay. Bobby can't wait until 11/11. It's going to be amazing. It's going to feel so good. Okay. Claritha says, yes, people are really struggling now. I can see what you were talking about regarding mental health. Right. So this is why, and I am going to put some effort in the next couple of days to actually get a sales page organized for this course so that it's like easily shareable with other people too. But the reason why the crash course was born, and it was born so fast in the middle of like me having a million things happening in my personal life where I was like, really, we're doing this right now, guys? And so if you go and read in the information, it literally says, I don't even have like a page for it, because it's information that had to come through me at this time for purposes of mental health. Because if you don't understand what's going on, a lot of people are like, they don't have the mental ability to process through the energetic impulses that are coming at you. Like, society does not prepare you for these things. This is not stuff that you can learn, in anywhere that I know of. I'm sure there's probably some like sacred books, that you can like go through and read, like things like even like the Emerald Tablets or like the Kybalion, like these ancient principles that teach you, amazing vibrational principles. But it's not like, hey, this is what's going on and this is what you got to do in order to like, feel like you're functional on planet Earth. And so we just had to birth that, and just to kind of explain what's happening and why it's a big deal right now, and why a lot of people, like, it kind of just feels like we're imploding, right? A lot of people that are like, mental health is a thing. It just feels like your world is going like this. And a lot of people like keep going like this, like this, like this, like this. And then the slightest little thing happens and it's like, oh my gosh, I can't take it anymore, right? People are exploding all the time because they don't have the mental capacity to process through things, because their auras are shrinking. Instead, the work that we do when we pull down like our higher frequencies, our auras expand. It's like you make more room to be exactly who you are in this world. You take up the space that you need to energetically, and you beam out. So you become stronger. You claim your power. You claim your birthright. You elevate yourself above the nonsense. So you, anytime there's a thought that comes that's like a what's it called? Collective unconscious thought. So basically it comes from the nonsense of society. You're like, yeah, that's not my thought. Yeah, like that's not, I don't believe in that, right? Because in your aura field, you have downloaded so much like good stuff, so much amazing higher vibrational frequency that it's like, it's easy to bounce this stuff off. Like, you don't have the issues of self-worth or self-esteem because you know exactly who you are. and you feel it every time we go and connect to your higher self. So you don't have to doubt it. You don't have these like identity crises, right? Because you have a sense of who you are. And yes, we can dig deeper into that. And I have courses that dig deeper into that. But this at least gets you the understanding that you are so much more than these things that are happening in life, right? And you can get yourself to a higher state of consciousness anytime and recharge and actually like clear through some of these patterns, some of these behaviors that are not yours. They're not yours from this lifetime. They're yours because you inherited them, just like diabetes or cancer or whatever, right? Through the cells of your lineage, and all of a sudden they're flaring up and you're like losing your shit because everything is going like this. And then on the inside, it's like, what? Right? And we keep repeating the same thing. So that's got to be like, and we're done. And so that's the work that we do. So you can actually be sane. So yes, a lot of people are having a hard time really struggling, like processing through it mental, because if you don't have the mental capacity to process through it, it wipes you out. So, okay, Stephanie, what's the difference between the Sacred Chakras journey and the crash course? Great question. Bobby had asked me the same question, actually. I remember I should put that on the thing. So the crash course is a course about what's happening specifically in this moment of time, and how the cells in your body are changing and transforming into the light body. We kind of cover some of this information in the Sacred Chakras journey, but this is like for what's happening right now in the energy of these portals. So it's the 10-10 and the 11-11 and this new phase. So we're closing out a 7-year Mayan cycle. So it's more of something that has to do with, hey, let's understand what's physically taking place inside of the cells, inside of our body, and how this is affecting us. So it is different information. Also, you get different clearings. Not different clearings, because in the Sacred Chakras journey, we didn't have clearings, but you have like a clearing for your house. You have a clearing for clearing other people. I talked to you guys about like how to clear others, how to ask permission to clear others, and all the things that are like pretty much needed. Let me see, what else can I tell you? I have the manual. What else can I tell you guys? So, oh, this is different. I am like, let me have a little of my Christmas tea. So working through the limiting beliefs and clearing our chakras, merging and upgrading to the diamond light pillar, okay, which is different. From separation consciousness to unity consciousness. And then we talk about like the sacred geometry inside of the body and how the cycles work. So it's more like the history of like what's happening in our solar system and how is that affecting us inside out, basically. And we do talk about dimensions, and we talk about clearings. So, and if you want to talk about it a little bit more, you can message me on the side. But there's also Claritha and Bobby, and there's a few of the crew from the Sacred Chakras journey that is in the course, and it's different information. Okay. Ciara, during my period, today is my first day. The cramps are so bad I can't move, and I feel so bad. Any thoughts on why I feel so achy during my cycle? Yes. Okay. This is happening. If you're a woman, this is happening to you. Cycles have been absolutely irregular, okay, for everyone across the board. This is a phase of ascension. For me, it happened a little while ago, and it was so crazy, and it's so painful, and you feel like, oh my gosh, like something inside of me is either dying or like being rebirthed. And that's really what's happening. It's like the entire cells inside of your womb are changing. And it is a painful process. And sometimes it feels like you're also like super bloated, and it's just kind of, it's a phase. No, it's a phase. Everything is changing. Think about it this way. The womb is the place where the energy of heaven and earth actually materializes inside of a woman's body. And so it's, if you can transcend that feeling and feel like something absolutely divine is happening, and that all of your cells inside are just being rebirthed, it's kind of a really cool thing. And then I promise it takes like 2 or 3 cycles. So it's like 2 or 3 months, and then it goes to like a new phase, and then you feel it shifted. So, okay. Is marijuana good for the spirit? Okay. It is not really a good question for me to answer because it's not something that I do. So honestly, I don't know. I don't even know if it's something that is like, there's something that is good of it or something that is not. What I can tell you in general about all sorts of different herbs and all sorts of different things, think about the way that you feel like when you are doing the thing, and think about the way that you feel after. And does your life improve? Right? Did your life improve? Did you learn something? Do you feel like you shifted and you're in higher consciousness? Are you in a higher vibration? Are you able to view life in a happier way? Are you able to go about your day with more love? Right? That's really the thing. I think that's like the measuring of, all of the things that we do. It's like, do you have, is it something that's healthy for you? And is it helping you mentally, physically, emotionally manifest a better world for yourself? Because if you're doing it, like, for example, one thing that I can relate to, so I'm kind of taking it to this just because I can make sense out of it for you, right? There's a lot of people that use alcohol to cope with stuff. So it's like, you've had a stressful day and then you want to drink just because you want to like not deal with things. Anything that you take, whatever it is, doesn't even matter if it's sugar. It can be Ben and Jerry's ice cream, Jen and Barry's, whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about. Like the big chunks of ice cream that you can buy from the grocery store. Whether it's ice cream, whether it's drugs, whether it's alcohol. If you're doing it because you're getting away from something, then you have a problem. Okay. If you are doing something consciously, ceremoniously to elevate your state of being, and you're doing it to get to a specific end, not because you're doing it every day because you're addicted, but because you're doing it to get to, for a shift, for an elevated state of being, then you're doing it correctly. So I think that's really how you know. Okay. So hopefully this is all helping. You guys are excited for the Sacred Chakras journey. Yeah, it's going to be fun. That update on the Sacred Chakras journey is going to be on winter solstice. So mark your calendars, ladies and gentlemen. It feels like this like earth shaking kind of event. It's going to be amazing. So, and that I will talk more about later. Right now, I want to make sure that, because that's the Sacred Chakras journey is an advanced course that works. It's like a timeless course, right? That works for always. These are principles of how we are built in this time-space reality and how our energy systems work. The crash course is like, hey, here's the functional shit you need to know right now about how you are energy and how you're connecting to everything and how the universe is inside of you and you are connected to the universe. It's like, let's get to it. You have to just like, it's go time. And these are things that you absolutely have to know right now. Okay. Which do you think are greater, Arcturians or Pleiadians? So Arcturians are... they're not, it's not, when you get to a certain frequency, you're not talking about greater, okay? You're talking about everyone in the family of light has the function or the role that they play is the whatever it is that makes their heart sing the most, right? Whatever they want to do most is what they do. When you get to that level of light, this is how it works. So the Arcturians are the protectors. They're they're the defenders. They're like, I call them the cosmic bouncers. They're the guys that I often call on or often actually just show up when we do astral projections, because they're like, a lot of them kind of look like the 300s, right? Like the army, like they're just like solid. They're there. They got your back. You want to be friends with them. They have incredibly amazing ships. The Pleiadians are heart-centered, and this is all love. The Pleiadians are incredibly heart-centered. The role for the Pleiadians here is as teachers to us. They're like us in the future, in the past. Like they're like, we're super connected. They're like family, because Venus is a sister planet with Earth. Okay, so we're more connected to the Pleiadians than we are to the other star races. And the Pleiadians are generally the first ones that will come and interact with people because they're just so full of love. And their job is to come and unlock like switches. Like we all have like these fail-safe switches inside. And that's their job, is to like kind of like start that trigger point and to teach us to a certain point. When they first came to me, man, we worked every day straight. Every day, 1 hour, I had to like sit there, tune in and work with them for like, I think it was over a year. I want to say maybe it was like 14 or 16 months every day. And they taught me things, they taught me things, they taught me things. And so that's their job. So everyone works with what they're best at. That's what happens when you live in harmony, right? You do the thing that has most joy in your heart. Can someone astral travel to heaven? Yes, absolutely. You can astral travel to wherever. Okay. Carrie says, I'm so thankful for all the good stuff. So thankful to stand in my truth. Yay, Carrie. Claritha says, both the Crash Course and Sacred Chakras Journey are amazing. Thank you, sister. Yes, you're learning all the things. Starting to get back on the cycles, Carrie says. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, you guys are all experiencing this. Okay. Oh, you guys are also answering. I love this. Marijuana completely depends on the intention and energy, like anything else. Yes, you guys. Okay, Sylvia says, so thank you for answering each other and helping each other out. OMG, I also started last night and my cramps were so painful. They were like labor pains. Yeah, I can't believe that just got explained. Yeah, absolutely. So this is all, if you, in the crash course, okay, you will see what's happening to our cells. This is like part of like the molecular stuff that we get into so that you can visualize it and understand it. But it's like a full rebirth. So it's happening. Okay. All right, I think I've missed like a lot of things. I love that you guys are answering each other. Van Wells, you've been falling asleep spontaneously in the afternoon. I remember we talked about that on the side. A lot of you are doing that. So that is like a download nap. We're just going to call it a download nap because it happens to all of us. It's like you get, in the Sacred Chakras Journey, we actually talk about this specifically. It's like you get taken offline because your higher self has to go and do work, but your full, like more of your attention is required. And so that like, it's like things have to just get through. And so you get taken offline. It's kind of like in The Matrix, the movie, The Matrix. It's like if you were to get unplugged, right? And you're just like, I have to lay down. If you get the urge to fall asleep and you resist it, okay, and you have coffee, that's the worst freaking thing that you can do, or like take some kind of stimulant to keep going, then your body is going to be so weighted. And so it's like you're going to be running this huge download and it's going to feel like you're on like elephant tranquilizer instead of like just having drink like coffee. You're going to be like, because your attention is needed with your higher self. And then you're back pretty quick. Usually it's like 10, 15 minutes and you're like, and I'm back. So, all right. Okay. Janet Berries. You guys. I feel like I am like catching up with so many different things here. Annie says, I've never felt so much love as when I went to meet the Pleiadians. Yes, they're so full of love. And so here is Annie is saying, Super Scuba. She's saying, I'm so glad that I remember your guys' names. It's like so amazing. But she's saying, right, like when you experience these things and when we astral travel, you know, your questions, can we astral travel? Yes, she's met the Pleiadians, right? And it's like we've met so many different beings. We've met councils, and you can literally go anywhere. So is it possible to be a little of each of them? Jamie, you mean in terms of like star beings? Yes, you could be like a interstar breed. Absolutely. And also, Jamie, it's very possible that it's like you're pulling in, because I remember when I first started figuring this stuff out, I was like, oh, but I feel so similar to this and I feel so similar to this, right? So in the Sacred Chakras journey, we figure out where you're from. We actually go back and trace it and track it. But a lot of us and a lot of you feel the energy of your past lives. So most of us have had multiple past lives on different planets. So you will identify and remember your family on the Pleiades. You'll remember your family on Sirius. You'll remember your family in Andromeda. You'll remember your family in, you know, the with the Arcturians. You'll remember, you know, all of these different things. And so it's just your past lives, everything coming together. It's a history. It's like your whole planetary solar system. I want to call it galactic history. All right. Okay, Jackie, I spontaneously got sick, but it was a weird, not anything in particular, just nauseous. Then dizzy. I left work, came home, then slept. I felt so much better. Is that the process? Yes. So if you need to get taken offline, that's exactly what happens, right? And then it's a reset. It's just a reset. And so a lot of times during that time, I go and, I lay down, and I was telling somebody this today too, is I go and I will play in the background, even if I know I'm going to pass out, but I'll play in the background one of our meditations from the Sacred Chakras journey, because what happens is it accesses that frequency. It accesses that higher, if we went to the moon, if we went to Venus, if we went to the council, one of those meditations will bring in that energetic frequency. And so while you're sleeping, it's almost like listening to mantra music, right? So while you're out for those 10-15 minutes, it's like your body is just filling up with all of the good vibes. So that is a good thing to do. All right, I hope I caught up. I know I maybe skipped some things, but I think I hit the important points and the important parts. So to sum it all up, you guys, there's lots of things happening. The sun is about to move into Scorpio, which is like really deep, right? Scorpio is like the deepest, the depths of the everythingness sign of the zodiac, which means we're going to start questioning the depths of everywhere of our life, of why we're here, of all of these things. So get your ducks in a row. The sun moves on the 23rd, okay? So in a couple of days, and we're going to feel that desire to go deeper, it's almost like you want to know things and you want to play detective in a sense and just really understand, and you don't stop. So you know how like that feeling when you first go through your spiritual awakening, you're like, oh my gosh, I need to know all the things. This is going to take you even deeper into the rabbit hole. So we're going in. And so this is why it's good to have the knowledge. It's good to have the tools. It's good to have an understanding of how, this is happening, why it's happening, what to do with it. Our next gateway is 1111. If you have not done the bloodline clearing work, this is your ancestral wound. This is like your core wound. This is the stuff that you grew up with, the weights that you carry, the stories that keep replaying in your life that feel like larger than life, that you don't want to carry on your shoulders anymore. Okay. If you haven't done that stuff, go get in the crash course. Okay. Get the deal, register by tomorrow. It's like $55 a month, and you can go through all of the explanation. It's a 2-hour module where we explain through everything, and I teach you what's happening, and then we actually do the clearing. And I take you through all the way to the great central sun, so it's center of the solar system, and you go and do the work at this, where this portal is open, where the star portal is open, which when it comes to the way that we record it, because it's in quantum time, you will have access to doing it anytime. Also, those of you that are in the crash course, go and do it again. If you feel like you have stuff that's coming up, you can do it again. I don't know that I would do it every day because it's really a lot. I would probably, wait like the angels say 3 days, right? Like a good solid 72 hours, because you clear energetically and then your body has to like sync it up. physically. But if you feel like you want to do it again, 5 times, right, before 11:11, then do it. I don't know if you have that much time, but on 11:11, the clearer you are, think about it. 11:11 is like well, if my fingers were like straight, 11:11, this is a double doorway. Okay. So we're going to be standing in this like amazing, like high frequency portal that's opening up, and we're going to be able to pull in everything that we want. But if you haven't cleared out the old, 10:10, that's completion, right? 11:11, manifesting the new. So if you haven't done that, if you haven't cleared out the old, you won't be able to pull in the new. Does that make sense? You won't have room for it. So you have to do the clearing. So go get your clearing on. And he says, I cannot even wait for 11:11. I'm super excited, super excited. It's going to be an 11:11 party. Bobby says, I got taken offline a few times, but luckily my boss didn't catch me. That's funny. So yes, super power naps at work. It's great. Okay. I don't know what's happening here. I'm losing things, but I love you guys. I hope this was helpful. Make sure you meditate every day. It's so important right now to not lose your mind. Really, you have to set yourself up for success, and know that like you have a mental structure every day that holds you into the knowingness of who you are, and that you matter, and that you make a difference, and that you are worthy, and that you are beautiful, and that you're amazing, and you're on this planet for a purpose and for a reason. And you got to show up. You got to show up and shine, because that's what you're here to do. So I love you all. Go to www.moonbabetribe.com, register for the crash course. You have to scroll down the page a little bit, and then you'll see OMG, the crash course. Click on it, and it will take you to an explanation of it. And then there's payment options. It tells you what to do, and then you'll get an email with all the information, and then you can start doing the work right away. You can do the 10:10 meditation right away, and then you'll be ready to do 11:11. All right? Awesome, you guys. I love you all. I will see you on here. Again, thank you for joining me. I'm Sonia G. This is the MoonBabes Monday Night Live. The replay will be up on YouTube, so you can watch it again. And I will see you all here in my stories on Instagram. Mwah. Love you guys. Yay! So much love.